Always look on the bright side of life. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Debuff News, our WildStar cast. I'm Cannon, Dominion Guild Leader, because everybody wants to go Dominion. Do it.
Woo
Do it
woo!
now. Woot woot. And of course, I have Streak here, who is the XO for the Exiles. Scum.
I'm a ninja.
I'm a ninja, and I have Chip here, which I'm not sure where Chip's gonna go. I haven't heard at all if he's even made a decision or if he's playing both sides. Are
Oh,
you a
there is absolutely no question. Sir, I will defer to your side. Streak, I'm sorry.
yay?
I can't do it. You know, Cassians are sexy and they know it, and you just gotta go with it.
Oh wow, it's the cash and female. You know it is. Oh yeah. So good
I'm
evening, guys.
outnumbered. I'm outnumbered.
Yeah,
It's only Dominion. I could take 2 or 3 of you at once. That's all right.
usually it's me that's outnumbered, so it kind of feels good to be on the other side of it. So, Streak, how are you doing tonight?
Doing excellent. Doing excellent. Yourself?
Doing okay. I hear you had one more week of classes till your winter break.
One more week,
One
and
more
it's
week.
going to be a nightmare of a week. But once I get through it, I'm golden. Good, 3-4 week vacation? I could take that. Sure, no problem.
Oh yeah, I'm starting to get jealous here. How about
Yeah.
you,
Well, don't
Chip?
get jealous
Oh,
till next week.
how you doing, Chip?
I'm alright, just trucking along at work. I did want to make sure to mention that I did my first wish this month. I sent a kid to the Skywalker Ranch. I was like, woo!
Really? Actually, that's
Excellent.
pretty
Dude, that was
cool.
awesome. I mean, they could have assigned me like Disneyland or Disney World, which are the typical kids' wishes, but I got one that was the Skywalker Ranch, which was like perfect. I mean, I love Star Wars, and I won't lie to you. When we gave him his wish delivery thing, which is a standard procedure, instead of giving him a party, which is the typical norm, we gave him one of those glass lightsabers, and it just says, we lit it up, and there was a tiny note that says, "You're going to the Skywalker Ranch."
Ah,
A little part of me was like, oh.
oh, awesome. That's
Very
pretty
awesome.
cool. This is something you do every year type thing, or?
Oh, I work at the, I work, just the one wish is just because they pretty much promoted me in the wish department. Usually, usually I deal with finances. Like, oh, hey, this cost $16.12. Let me put this onto this account, while that other $5 goes here.
Exciting
Wow.
times.
Ta-da!
Woo.
I think I like being a ninja better than a CMA. CNA. Sorry. Well, anyhow, we're actually here to talk WildStar. So many, many, many cool things this week. Of course, we had an engineer dev speak this week, which is, a quick blurb. We'll have Liette throw that up for us here in a few minutes. Not yet. Of course, big news is that Carbine has lifted the NDA only for news agencies. That's very important because if you go and try to stream something and be like, "Oh, I can do this," you're going to get banned. So only for news agencies, and it's only for them levels 1 to level 15 that they can talk about stuff. So do not stream, you'll get in trouble. I know Streak, he's a big streamer. He's been doing it illegally.
Yeah.
No, no, I'm not trying to get you kicked out already. No.
I don't know how to
One
stream.
less to deal with, maybe. What? What?
So of course, they're going crazy about the medic and they're going crazy about the engineer because they're the finally been released. The names of them and everything like that. Uh, that's a hands on with that. That's a hands on with that. What was it like? Oh, that's right. They're also showing character creation too. The news agencies are showing character creation, going into details about what you can do and everything. So, Streeg, what do you think of that? Tell these people, what the character creation is like.
Character creations looks pretty awesome so far, but I got to tell you, I'm sorry, I'm being distracted here. um, are you trying to talk Orin? um, I'm kind of curious because I think I had heard from Carbine not too long ago that they had only installed into usable content a portion of the actual character creation screen, and they were going to have a lot more features when they got around to launch time. So what already is looking pretty amazing out there is possibly just a portion of what we're actually going to get when it goes live. Hopefully, I'm all for customization. I tell you, I think it was when EQ2 came out. I think they had, like, if you pre-ordered, they gave you like a little disc that you could do customer creation. That was like the best idea I think I've ever seen. I ran to the store, made sure I had my copy, and I could spend like hours like customizing. Because normally when a game comes out, I'm like, oh, I got to get in the game. So I'm just like, okay, this looks good. This looks good. But with that game, man, you were able to go out there and tweak everything and just get everything perfectly set up before the game actually launched. So I was kind of hoping that Carbine would do something like that, but I won't hold my breath on that. But yeah, it's looking awesome so far. Good customization, very unique styles. So you'll get a chance for everybody's character to look a little bit different, I think.
True. That is what everybody wants, is their own unique character. Now, right now, Chip, you're playing Final Fantasy 14, right?
Yes, sir, I am.
Now, in that game, do they have quite? Can you adjust what your character looks like, or are they basically, the typical, this is what this character looks like, and that's it?
Well,
And then,
in when it first came out, they gave us what you were talking about, where basically we had the character creation tool right then and there. So we
okay,
didn't have to spend like, because I'm like you guys. I want to play the game, but the caveat is that my character needs to look perfect with the perfect name. If it doesn't have the perfect name or the perfect look, I cannot be in game without it. So I spent hours fine tuning my character until it was perfect, and that's the system they have right now, where you could download the character creation, and Carbine, maybe just a little some here. It was a download. It was only like a gig, but then the person could spend however long they wanted making the character and save multiple looks that will be exported into the game. And all you have to do is say, "Oh, hey, load appearance data. Save 1, save 2, save 3, save 4, save 5, up to save whatever. It doesn't matter how many things you had." One person had like 87 different looks, and I'm like, dude,
whoa,
uh, I mean, I was at like 5 and I was stretching myself, but maybe that's something that they could release. It would be really cool. I mean, I know certain people here watching right now might be a little interested in doing that for hours, maybe.
I have to agree with you. I would like to have a character creator before start, because when the game starts, you don't want to be spending time making it. I mean, there's gonna be people who are gonna do it. I mean, you want your character to look perfect, but you also want to get in that game to get going. So yeah, I think that's a really good idea, is to have that availability, and I hope they do listen to that thing. Now, some of the things that they can that they're talking about that you can adjust, you can't adjust. I guess we'll talk about it that way better. You can't adjust your body size, the height. Unfortunately, you can't adjust the women's bust sizes. I know that's a letdown for a bunch of men. So, but
Eh.
eh,
Or those guys that want to create female tunes.
eh.
Whatever floats your boat.
Wait.
What you do on Saturday nights is up to you. I don't care.
So, of course, I guess face wise, there's a lot of adjustments that you can do, is what they're saying. So you can make at least the face. They're complaining about not a lot of hairstyles, though.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I'm hoping they're going to add in more options.
Yep.
Most of the hairs.
So things are looking good, and they say they have farther to go. So let's hope.
Absolutely.
Let's hope. Let's see, what else did they have? Of course, they talked about housing, which ties in a little bit with. I know they mentioned it someplace. I haven't found it here yet, but they talked about renown some. And Streak, you want to tell people what renown is?
Renown is in-game currency, sort of. I mean, they obviously are going to have their normal, I don't know, gold, silver, copper, blah blah blah. Renown is actually a type of currency that you get from grouping. So it's think of it almost as like a group experience type thing. The more you group, the more renown you get. You take the renown, you turn it in, you cash it in for other stuff, in-game stuff. So it kind of works, from what I understand, a lot like a currency.
Yeah. And the important thing about that is with Renown, you can buy a bunch of stuff for your houses, which is where they're
Exactly.
trying to point that out.
Yep.
What about you, Chip? You a big housing fanatic as well? You know, you're a character fanatic, obviously.
Oh, there is no question I am one of those types. If I have a house and I'm in charge of designing it, it needs to look a certain way. You can't put like a metal cabinet next to like a wooden ottoman or something and expect it to work well. You need to
Don't come
have
to my house.
synergy in the house. You need to have a theme. It needs to be a cool but modern theme or a natural wooden theme or something like that. It has to work. I don't want a hodgepodge of just, oh, look, cool, this looks cool, and put it together and expect like a genie to make it work nice. No, you need to put in the effort. Even probably wallpaper counts. You can't put like floral dots when you have like, a nature kind of deal going with your house. Would you really want that? I mean, I don't, but it's something to consider, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a
Watch me.
house, please put in the effort. Make it look cool. Don't let it be your headquarters of
Yeah, he's
failed
looking for
design. I guess
Yeah.
I don't know.
Poor Streak's colorblind, so I'm just gonna be like, yeah, that goes. Yeah, it all works together. I don't care. I don't know.
we're gonna come
Gray
to your
and
house.
pink. That's the new colors of the future.
That's right. Pink and brown, baby.
Yeah.
I like what you've done with your house. Really? No, not really. But I think it's cool because they're going to be able to use that renown system. You're going to be able to buy items for your house, and I think you can also buy sockets for your house, which is stuff for the outside for your land of your house, is what they're basically saying.
That is
So
cool.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that. But I also saw a neat thing that they said is that they're at on your house plot is that you have a they call it a buff board. A buff board. You had a possibility of being able to get a buff, one of so many buffs, for I think they said it lasted 23 hours, 24 hours, full day.
Wow.
So pretty
Nice.
cool. That'd
Very
be pretty.
cool.
Yeah. So I'm not quite sure what these buffs are going to entail, but cool that they said, hey, you're going to get an extra buff because they already say if you stay in your house, you get the stuff. You're going to get more rested XP. But hey, you also come to your house, you can get a buff for the day when you go to do something else out in the world.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, they even said they'd have like a socket on there that you could have like a portal to a raid spot. So they had kind of mentioned before that you go get the raid together at your house. They all get their buff, jump into the portal, and go off raiding. So awesome stuff.
Yes.
Awesome stuff.
Sign me up, please.
Heck yeah.
Let's see. Next thing, we talked about character creation. Before we hit that one, we'll talk about the medic real quick. They've doing a little bit of testing news-wise with the medic. People getting in there and trying that out, and apparently they like it.
Each their own.
They say that the medic is a highly mobile class. And they say first do harm, which actually scares me, but the medic can obviously be DPS or heals. So,
Yep.
And one thing, did either of you watch Saturday's 1 hour long dev speak that they did, the streaming dev speak?
I think I haven't missed any. Which one was that on? That was
the medic.
On the medic, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Now, one thing I got from that I thought was pretty cool, and Soul Guardian pointed out as well, is that the importance of trying to keep your target in the center of your field of fire. They said that, okay, this one shot that he did, they had one big line in the center and two on the outsides. And it said that if you hit them with one in the center, it does more damage than the two shots that are hit on the outside.
Right.
Which is pretty cool. Now,
yeah,
they said before that aiming is going to be very important in this game. I mean, obviously, this is a move and shoot game type deal. So, but I wonder if, like with your AOE effects, if the stuff you get something perfectly in the center of your AOE, if that's going to take more damage than the stuff on the outskirts as well.
It's
Yeah.
possible. I haven't heard anything like that, but hey, they're kind of breaking new grounds here with a lot of different things. So I wouldn't be too overly surprised if they did. Yeah.
Let's see. Trauma centers. Of course, you can die really easily, is what I also understand. Oh, why do you kill me? Why? They say to be careful. You die easily.
Yes. That is good. That is good. You know, these games they've been coming out with the last year or two, it seems like you can just pretty much close your eyes and stumble through things and you have no chance of dying whatsoever. It's just like total easy mode. So the fact that they're kind of ramping up to some of the experience that you go in it alone, you can do it, but don't go too lightly on it because you will die.
So
Carbine's message: learn to dodge.
That's true.
That is true too. You see red. I'm sorry, Strieg. You don't see red.
Yeah.
But you see red. Get
You
out
see
of it.
everybody running. There'll be Strieg. What? Where's everybody going?
What's going on here? Why am I the only one in the center? What's going on?
Do I smell? I don't know.
Why is no one brave enough for this? Oh crap!
Yeah. Well, once again, what they're saying, they're making it hard for you to solo. They're pushing towards grouping.
Yes.
And
That goes with the whole renown system and all that little extra currency. They're definitely gonna be pushing group type content, which is good. Really good.
That's what the MMORPG is, right?
Yeah, go figure. It's only been
Yeah.
about years since we've seen that. What the heck?
What about you, Chip? You looking forward to doing a whole bunch of grouping? What's it like in Final Fantasy? Is it pretty rough, or is it easy mode?
And not in the sense where we've all played the MMOs where I'm max level here. Oh look, this is a monster. Bam! Oh, what happened? Who got the crit? You dead? Bye. Kind of deal. It's not that way. In Final Fantasy right now, it's a little. If your group doesn't know, if they think that I'm just gonna waltz in here and be awesome, um, you're gonna get owned. And that's the thing that I'm, enjoying about WildStar, that they're making the emphasis of showing that just because you get up high doesn't mean you're just gonna steamroll the content. You actually need to still keep trying. You can't just say, "Oh, I need to sit around here, click, click, click," because then you're gonna die, and then everybody's gonna hate you. What I won't lie. I kind of don't like people like that. Oh, I'm just gonna sit back here and press 1 because that's my healing macro. One, 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 and then boom, tail swipe, and you just see them go wee, and you're like, dude, can you please try and move away? Just please. So, that's something to definitely look forward to in WildStar. I'm looking forward to everyone really pulling their weight and showing what teamwork is really about.
And really, when you talk about healing and everything, it's not just from the healing standpoint. We saw that in the they had the medic heal the Stormtalon's dungeon that they did, and what was it? The stalker they had on there. I mean, he died because he wasn't getting out of basically out of the flames and everything. And
Oh yeah.
The medic was working pretty hard to keep everybody alive, but he couldn't. He had to keep the tank alive, which he picked obviously the right person to keep alive. But
prioritization is key when you're healing. That's
yes.
a lesson of the day.
So that was quite interesting. I mean, I think we've seen healing on Spellslinger, healing on the Esper, and we've seen healing on the medic. Right?
I don't think I've seen healing on the Spellslinger.
We haven't.
They had the video, but they did DPS and DPS and DPS. They kind of threw up some charts and graphs and says, "Here's how it works," but I haven't seen it work. So I'll defer until I see it.
Well, I know with the Esper at least, and of course with the Meg, we've seen him somebody
Yes.
die in both those runs. And then when they're
Yeah.
also talking about it is before they did the runs, I guess they do these practice runs too, just so they don't look like fools on there. Which I can't blame them. I do the same thing. Look how good we are. Ah, shoot.
Yeah. We'll have our fair share of practice runs.
Yeah. But people died in them.
Oh, yeah.
They died. Keep it. They're going to be all busy. Everybody's going to be busy.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah,
Yep.
it is.
So the big news for this week, as we said at the beginning, was, of course, everything they released with NDA stuff. But the Engineer. So we're going to have Liette throw up the Engineer movie for us so we can all watch that, and we'll blab about the Engineer for a bit before we end. Please, Liette, show us that wonderful bean footage.
Welcome to WildStar. This is DevSpeak. This is the disclaimer. It's finally time to throw back the curtain on the Ron Popeil of classes. The Engineer. Our goal with the Engineer was to make a heavy-range tank class that uses do-it-yourself gadgets and bots to destroy things. It's a pet class that doesn't play like a pet class. Basically, we put Inspector Gadget in a monster truck. Now, Engineers come packing with heavy armor, launchers, bots, an exosuit, and a ShamWow. Yo, dog, we heard you like bots. So we put some bots with your bots, so you can kill things while you kill things. The Engineer has bots for tanking, DPS, CC, and heals. Every bot has an ability, and you hold the trigger. She also uses her launcher to fire out experimental projectiles, like this. Or this. Or call an artillery strike. Your heavy armor not heavy enough? No problem. Just activate the limited edition Mark IV exosuit. It makes you better at everything. What this means is, it's the Engineer's choice to either hang back in DPS mode to dish out long-range damage, or switch to tank mode and wade through the battlefield. Like an actual tank. So that's the Engineer in a nutshell. Hit up our site for more details about this mechanical monstrosity. Oh, that social media. Good thing the devs are listening.
Oh, that's pretty cool, I think. The one thing I like about it is I like guns. And boy, do they have some pretty guns. Well, what do you guys think? Streak, we'll start with you, sir.
I'm going to get a lot of hate mail on this one.
Oh,
I
no.
don't like the Engineer.
Oh, no.
Dun dun dun.
I am very upset about the Engineer. I am
Why is
not a
that?
happy camper. Pet classes in a MMORPG has always traditionally been very hard to balance with the other classes. When you add in an extra component of heal capability, you're really going down a fine line there of trying to keep that balanced. Also, because I am obviously a healer type class, I never like to have the healer role be minimized, and I do not like the fact that the tanks pets have healing capability. Now I know it's probably not going to be any big heals like you would with a medic or an esper or a regular healing class. So you're not going to walk into a dungeon boss mob or to a raid and be able to heal yourself. It's obvious it's going to be pretty well balanced for those situations, but that's only this much of the game. The other part of the game is leveling. It's going through the quest mobs and the leveling and all that stuff. I do not see how they can possibly balance with the other classes. I see OP all over the place. You're going to have every class out there that can either DPS and heal or DPS and tank. And then you're going to have the Engineer walking through that says, I can tank, I can DPS, I can heal, I don't need anybody. And they're going to plow through everything solo, and I'm not happy with this at all. I know I'm going to catch a lot of slack, especially for the Engineer lovers out there, but I think there comes a certain point where you're like, do they really need to be able to do everything? I mean, I thought that was the whole point of this, was to go back to roles and not have like one class can do everything, and they're kind of lean that way towards the engineers. So 2 thumbs down for me.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
A strong opinion, but that's what you're here for. How about you, Chip?
All I could think, well, I thought of several things actually. One, when they showed the engineer with the tank, could you guys just see, the little thing just shining? It's like, this is my tank. There are many others like it, but this one is mine, kind of deal. It's like, I mean, they were just looking at it like that. And two, I would have to agree with Mr. Trig. All I could think of when I saw that video was, I got this one man army. Oh, look, I'm just one person. Click, 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 click. Oh, look, there are 5 rocket launchers around me. Boom, 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 boom. Kind of deal. And it's like, wait a minute. This doesn't, for me, I've always been very, unaccepting of pet classes, so to speak. I just don't like it. But this to me seems a little too, you know, it's a little too much. They've done a great job of what they've been doing to make sure, look, this class is this class is this. Now, there are outliers for sure, but in general, you got to keep to what you have. But this seems a little too much where it's like, can you just imagine, in a 40-man raid, oh, let's just do this on a goof. A 40-party engineer. Woohoo! and and for some reason, they just so, oh, look, we killed the boss in the fastest time and nobody died. Oh, so engineers are the best class, yes? So I'd have to agree with Mr. Strigg. You got the engineer seems a little bit too much. Scale it down. If you're gonna do a multi-class like that where it can do all three, then make it to where it doesn't even compare to someone who is maining a heal. Like, oh, I can spot heal one person, but if you even try to compete with a medic's heals or something, you're just gonna get out healed so bad that you'll be like, oh, yeah.
I kind of and trying to well, it's a little late to be optimistic now, but but I could definitely see them scaling it down to where it's not really competitive with an actual healer class. That's kind of what I am expecting it for, it to be really kind of just a spot heal type thing. So I think when it comes to raids, especially with, you get those big giant telegraphs that drop down, your bots, they're not going to be, they're not smart. They're not going to get out of the way. So they're probably going to vaporize in a heartbeat. So I'm not really worried when it comes to raid content or boss dungeons. I'm focused primarily on the leveling up process. And you can't say, oh, everybody's balanced on this situation, but on all this situation, they're OP. I mean, that's not balanced. You got to be balanced across the board. And the engineers walking in, they got heavy armor. They've got, tanking abilities. They've got damage mitigation. They've got the ability to put DPS on their bars. The heal part's just too much for me. I can live with the bots doing DPS or crowd control, because you can always say, okay, if here's your DPS bar, we're going to give your pet this much and we'll drop yours down here so that the combined total is right there. So you can balance it that way. But once you throw it into heals, I mean, come on, you got a tank class that has heavy armor, damage mitigation, and DPS. Now they have spot heals. I mean, I just, and you're going to have 50,000 people on the server rolling a medic just so they can go bam, max level. I don't need anybody. So
Well, I myself, I am an engineer lover. I mean, you guys are probably saw that in me.
So
No,
if I
of
forget
course
to,
not.
if you're an engineer and I forget to heal you, sorry.
No. Nice. But I can see where you're coming from with the healing thing, but I just, it's not something they excel at, and I really can't see a bot lasting that long. But maybe they'll do big heals. I don't know. I think the heal is going to be so minimal. It's it might be helpful in a raid, but it'll probably die so quick. There's probably a better bot for the situation, is what I would think.
Oh, I absolutely agree. Like I said, I'm strictly focusing on the easier leveling up quest mob type stuff. I'm not talking raids or
Yeah.
dungeons or anything like that.
Now, the thing I'm wondering, though, is, of course, we know that your action set can only be, 8 or 9? I mean, they showed 4 heal, CC, DPS, tank. 4 bots on there, or was it 5? So I can't remember.
Well, to pick from?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was DPS, there was heals, there was tanking and crowd control. So yeah, I
Yeah,
think
4 of them. So that's going to take up 4 of your slots right there on your bar.
if you use them all. I mean,
If
do
you
you really
use them
need a
all at the same
tank
time.
bot if you're a tank? I mean,
Yeah. So
I don't know.
I'm just saying, if you have the possibility of having them all out, are you
True.
actually going to be able to do anything, or is it going to be, you're just walking around, your bots are doing something silly and dying all the time? So
No, but I could definitely see walking in there. You have a couple DPS skills, you have a few of your tanking abilities or whatever. I'm not sure how that works. And you need 2 bots. You get one bot that either does DPS or crowd control, and you have one that heals.
Yep.
What more do you need
it seems like that should be.
for leveling?
Yeah.
I wouldn't need anybody else.
It'd be interesting to see what they do with the healing bot. Maybe they'll take a step back and go, maybe we better have this bot be a little on the weak side. We want to grouping.
I think they're going to have to do something, because I don't see how you could possibly put that whole package together and have it not be overpowered, which means then people are going to scream OP, 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 and then they're going to have to nerf them somehow. And if they don't take away the healing bot, that means they're going to get nerfed somewhere else that, in my opinion, are not the places you want to be nerfed. You're supposed to be a tank or a DPS. So you don't really want to nerf your tanking abilities or your DPS abilities. So
Yeah.
Throw the healing out.
Don't really need it because we have classes that are supposed to do it. I can
Lots
see that.
of them.
Yeah, we have 3 classes that can do it already. You don't need it. You don't need that bot. Yep, I can see that. So the other thing, where is it coming from? Oh, I wanted to talk about range tanking. Do you think range tanking is actually possible? Because I know they said in Star Wars the trooper and the bounty hunter was going to be your range tank. It never turned out to be that way. When I was tanking that, I was always up in every boss's face. You think you guys think they can pull it off, Streak?
Which class did Steel play? Because I'm pretty sure he played a ranged tank and he said it was awesome.
He played the Vanguard, the trooper tank as well.
The trooper tank.
Yeah.
He seemed to really like it. Now I played the guys with the guns there, the gunslinger dudes.
Oh, the smugglers.
Smugglers, yes.
Yeah.
I played a smuggler, so I didn't pay much attention to the tank. I was too busy making sure I was in the right spot doing my DPS. So I just assume tanks do whatever it is that they do, and I tried it once. I stunk at it, so I says I'm gonna do everybody a favor. I'm not going to tank, and I really am not an expert when it comes to tanking, but I know Steelheart, he had that trooper, that range tank, and he said it was awesome. So
Yeah.
so I can definitely see it. Absolutely.
Chip, you ever pull up do any tanking?
Oh, no.
No?
I just I'm like, no. Now, don't get me wrong.
No, God,
when I played Star Wars, I made a Vanguard, but only because I liked the they had that ability where they launched the harpoon and it's like, come here, kind of thing. And I did that one time in Hubball, and that was the best moment I had. But that was the only reason. I
Okay.
cannot put up with the pressure of, oh, I have to hold threat against all these people, and then one gets away and scuttles towards a healer and blows up. It's like, oh, you just killed us all.
Just a healer, come on.
If it's a rage tank, it'd be definitely interesting. I don't know about you guys, but when I played games like that, when there's a tank, sure you have a ranged ability, but inevitably the boss is gonna be here, and the tank is like right here, getting smacked by the boss like that.
Yeah.
So I want to see if they make ranged tanking, something they really want to work on. How are you gonna enable it? Are you gonna enable where the tank has like hyper CC, but it's only it pulls a lot of threat, or what? How are you gonna make it do where like the range tank has like a lot of escape, but has the capabilities of basically jetting away from each spot, and the thing just follows it like a was like, what's that game called? Ring Around the Rosie or something like that. Yeah, it's something. It's definitely interesting, but as to whether it's something that's really like, that can be pulled off, I would definitely have to see the data. But
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's very interesting to hear that kind of possibility.
I've always known from the tanking perspective, I've always had the boss. I've never been able to range tank because everything's always come right in on me. Everything's always been a melee boss. It seems like so. And once in a great while, I think the only actual range tank that I can think of is when I played WoW and I was a mage, and a mage had to actually do range tanking on one mob. That was like the only time I've ever done range tanking in my life, but everything else has always been up in my face. So I'll be interested to see if they can pull it off. I hope they can pull it off. I'd like to see that.
That
But
a whole new dimension to tanking.
yeah, so maybe they'll have bosses that'll stay in one place, and we won't have to worry about them getting in my face. Get out of my grill, yo.
Yeah.
Flash
Get
them
a
pearly whites.
caster mob or something like that does all casting and stuff. Maybe it'd be one of those things that if you happen to be a raid leader, you kind of say, all right, this mob's a caster boss mob, so we're going to go with a range tank, and the next boss is a melee one that's going to be chasing you all over the place, so we're going to go with a warrior tank there at that time. So maybe it's one of those pick and choose type things. That
True.
maybe.
That is true. Well, with the lifting of some of the NDA stuff for the news people there, we should start to see more and more stuff come out, so people will be able to talk about more and more. You guys looking for anything interesting? Strig, what are you looking forward to them talking about? Anything you can? Oh.
I just want to get in there and try all the different healers out. I mean, right now I would have to say if the game was to release today, that I am probably leaning towards the Esper healing class. So I'd probably be going Esper. But you know what? I don't think I've ever really tried to play a healer in the terms of their medic style or their spell slinger style. So for all I know, I could try them, and I might wind up absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
And that now I'm a little skeptical because I'm getting older, and as I get older, my twitch reflexes aren't as good. So I could see me, with my little mouse trying to chase Chip around to heal him. Stay still, like kind of like the first person shooters I got. I can't snipe; they don't sit still long enough.
I need to line up this headshot. Just stand still a moment. Just look at me, jump a little. Boom! I missed. Ah!
So it's one of those economic type graphs, as my age goes up, my skill goes down. So
Oh.
I might have to take the easy Esper road, but we'll see how it goes. I want my house.
How
Just
about
sit
you?
on a rocking chair.
That's right. Get off my lawn.
What you doing there?
All right. How about you, Chip? Is there something you would wish that they would talk about?
Honestly, the one thing I have noticed, and it's a great disparity, when you guys are advertising for the game, can we get a little Dominion love here? It's always the freaking exiles, I'm kind of sick of seeing the little settler dude and the chick and the Orin thing. Can I get a little Dominion, you know, Met love here with, the Imperial theme going on, just them more dun 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 kind of evil music going on?
Oh.
Can I get something like that to really say, hey, there's two sides here. Pick a side.
Which actually brings up an interesting point because they were talking about leveling and they noticed one disparity, like you said. So the exiles, it seems like everything when they were leveling up, everything to do with the exiles was, oh my God, look what the Dominion's doing to us. We got to fight against Dominion. All right. I guess from the Dominion's perspective, though, they're like, the exiles, what? We're doing our own thing. They're over there just trying to conquer the planet one alien at a time. I mean, the exiles, they don't even. Once in a while, they run into them, and it's like, we'll kill them. So,
Yeah.
so it seems like the exiles are worried about the Dominion, and the Dominion is worried about other stuff. So apparently,
trying to stay alive.
So an interesting thing. Well, what I'm looking forward to is I'm hoping that they finally release information on raids. That's what
Yeah.
I want to see him release. And
War plots. God, I'd love to see something on war
oh
plots.
yeah, some more on PvP and everything. And which I guess they did release some stuff on PvP, but I'm not one to talk about PvP because I've never been a big PvPer myself. I'm hoping to get with somebody so somebody can take me by the hand and run me through some PvP and say, Cannon, this is how you PvP. Twinkle through the daisies over there. And
Like, you just someone stuns him. It's like, Cannon, look, it's your first kill. Shoot him. I missed. And he just comes up, whacks you in the face. Cannon, you gotta step away from PvP for a moment. We need
yeah,
to talk.
exactly. That's what they'll be like. So you're an embarrassment to the Dominion. Get out. All righty. Well, we're coming to the close of our program because in about 20 minutes, we have our EverQuest Next cast starting up. That's with who is that? That's Liette, Memo, and
Miss Vagina.
Vadrana. Yes, Vadrana.
I got your back.
Yes, thank you very much. I had that brought up earlier too because we were talking about it, and it was like, so much for that. So we are going to be going on a Christmas break soon. I think we have cast. Well, of course we had tonight. On Saturday night, do we have another cast with? I always forget that game. Star
Citizen.
Star Citizen. Memo should be doing a cast for that. Sunday night we should be having our regular debuff news where we talk about what's going on inside Grievance, and beyond that, I do not know what's going on, to be honest.
Nothing.
So we'll be going into Christmas break, and we won't be back until after the New Year. So I wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Have a safe New Year.
Yes.
Streeg, thank you for joining me tonight. Chip, thank you for joining me tonight.
Y'all have a nice holiday. Be safe. And
If your
hopefully when we
parents,
come
please
back, we
buy
can
your
have
presents early. Do not buy your presents from the gas station at freaking 10 p.m. Christmas Eve and wrap it in like brown paper bag. Go
Why
a little
change
early.
now.
Yeah. You can go right now. There are no lines, I promise.
Wow. And now we know how Chip does his. Are you sure you sent a kid to the Skywalker Ranch?
Hey, I'm pretty jealous. You know, his lodgings cost a lot of money, and I'm like, huh, I did not know hotels cost that much.
I have to admit that is a cool present. I gotta congratulate you guys for doing that.
Yeah,
so
that
good
is
job
awesome.
doing that.
Excellent, man.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you very much for watching. Have a good night. Have a safe holiday.